Hey guys, it's your boy Mark, and today we're going to be talking about the Boss LMB-3 Bass Limiter Enhancer. And this is going to be the last video in my series around bass guitar. If you guys have not seen my last two videos, I am going to be posting links below. And hopefully you guys will check them out if you haven't already and learn a thing or two. And speaking of my past couple videos, in each of them, I have made comments about compression, and I cannot stress enough how important compression is, especially in playing bass guitar. I mean, in the course of a mix from a producer standpoint, compression is necessary for about everything in a certain moderation. And don't let the name of this thing fool you, because limiting gets pretty much more like a hard stop after a certain decibel. But this is more like a very musical compressor for the bass guitar. You're going to hear it solo and in a mix. So let's not waste any more time and take a look at this front panel. So let's take a look at this brutal beauty in front of us. As the title of the video suggests, this is pretty new. This is the last piece of gear I purchased. I got it probably towards the end of July and used it a handful of times. It's cost effective and it is a very powerful unit. I don't think Boss gets a lot of attention from the bass world. I mean, there's other great competitors, MXR, Keeley Electronics, Dark Glass Microtubes. They all have great products for bass compression and stuff like that. But this is a very powerful unit, and I think it can stand up to the competition. And it's affordable. I want to say before tax and shipping and everything, it was about $100. So you get a lot of bang for your buck. I got mine on Amazon through Liquid Audio, and this thing is just amazing. And another thing that I like about it is how simple it is. All right, so you got your basic level, which controls the overall volume of the pedal. And this is cool. The enhanced feature is like makeup gain, basically. It kind of brings back a fuller sound after you apply compression. And then this is the ratio, the amount of compression you're going to use. These two are always going to be variable for me, depending on what the song needs. As I've told you guys before in the past, I kind of play bass guitar like an ape. Especially in the heavier, harder songs, I tend to hit the strings too hard and I overload the inputs and stuff like that. And I will choose the right amount of compression for that. Just by playing around with it. That's what you got to do, really. Just play around with it and see where you're kind of overloading your inputs while you're recording. So I've got the ratio about on 2/3 here. And I've got the threshold. This is where the compression kicks in. I've got it about at 3/4 because the last time I used it, that's about where I started clipping in the mix. So this brings back the tone that the compression takes away, and this also boosts the clean sound of your bass guitar as well. So that way you don't have to crank the gain inputs on your preamp and on your recording system to get a clear bass tone. I've tried this pedal in a couple different positions, and I find it best to place this before you plug into your amp, or for me, the Bass DI Plus, because I've tried it post the Bass DI Plus, and it just kind of kills everything. And it kind of sounds like a low hum with a little click. So definitely, this should definitely be in the first slot in your pedal board, in my opinion. Go ahead and play around with it and see what you think. We're going to get into the demos. All right, and for today's video, my bass is tuned to drop to D. I've got my session open in Studio One, and we're going to do a clean run through first without the pedal, without the Boss LMB-3. And then we're going to go through and do it again with a pedal on so you guys can hear the difference stand alone. And I think you guys will be really impressed with it. All right, and that was just without the pedal. Let's turn on the LMB-3 and you're going to hear this thing sing now. And that was the run with the Boss LMB-3. As you guys can hear, this thing sounds massive. It brings up all that low end and that mid-range and that treble that you didn't have before, while keeping everything at a solid level. I don't think my overload light went off once, and I was picking kind of hard. So it definitely does wonders for this bass. It definitely brings it forward into the mix. And speaking of mix, we're about to go into one right now. Alright, so we're about to go into a mix with the LMB-3. Before we do, I have the pedal off, so you can do a comparison of the bass in a mix with and without the pedal. We're going to start without. This is a piece of music I've been working on the past few days. All the other tracks have been muted except for the drums. So you're going to have the drums and just a live bass run through from me. Let's give ourselves a count off here. And that was without the pedal, that's just playing straight. Alright, and here is the same track with the Boss LMB-3 engaged. And there it was. I think you guys can really hear a big difference that this pedal brings to the table. I definitely think the bass sounds fatter, it's meaner, it's brought forward in the mix. It also brings out elements of the guitar that weren't heard otherwise. And also from a producer standpoint, I'm not having to run the DI box as hot as I was to get a loud and clear bass signal into the audio box I2. And then it takes a lot of the stress out of gain staging for the tracks, because it was really difficult without a compressor or a limiter. I would have to constantly play these parts over again and then adjust the dial on the interface to get it at a somewhat good happy medium. And this pedal takes care of that problem for me by enhancing the bass signal before going into the DI box and into the unit that I'm recording through. And it's definitely, I think it's an overlooked gem. And I think if you're a bass player or looking to pick up bass and recording bass at home, I think you should definitely take a look at one of these, especially if you're on a budget like I am. This thing is cheap, but it's not built cheap. It definitely has an incredible sound, and it can make your bass sound bigger in a mix without having to go through the headache of gain staging the old-fashioned way like I was doing. I think it just makes bass playing a lot easier. So I would definitely recommend you go to your local music store and try these out. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in to my bass part of my channel. Again, check out all the other videos I posted. Again, guys, you're going to want to check out the Boss LMB-3. Put the competition to the side and keep your mind open for this, because it is just as good as some of those pedals out there for only a fraction of the price. No, Boss is not endorsing me, but if they would like to, I would love to have it. Alright guys, y'all have a great week and more videos coming soon. Keep rocking.